Welcome to another episode of Doc Talk. You're with Dr. Nilong Jha. At our previous episode, we had a guest, Sean Foley. Today we have a very special guest with us, Tommy. Tommy is well known. What makes you different than other golfers, Tommy?
That I have one arm.
Tommy's known for having one arm, but do you win a lot of tournaments?
Yes.
Very good. So we're joined by Tommy. Tommy, today I wore a Batman t-shirt, and the reason I wore a Batman t-shirt is I've studied you for a little while now, and Batman does not have superpowers, but has good gadgets and does amazing things. I think you're kind of like Batman. Yeah. Steve, can you tell our HD viewers what makes Tommy so special as a golfer?
I think it's his ability to perform at such a high level. He's able to generate a lot of club head speed with just the one arm, and his ability to use the ground and rotate better than most kids his age is kind of separating him from the pack.
And Tommy, you had a competition against 28 PGA professionals, and you beat 22 of them in a par 3 competition. Mm-hmm. How did you do that?
I don't know, I just swung the golf club.
So what we're going to do is we're going to look at your golf swing through a few pictures and compare your swing to some of the greats. Are you okay if we do that?
Yeah.
Tommy, when we're done this segment, what do you want to do?
Play at Bay Hill against you, and I'm gonna win.
You're going to win?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get through this quick then. You want to do this quick?
Yes.
As fast as possible. Yes. Tommy, on the left. Sam Snead on the right. Tommy, you got a certain position here at address where you're a little bit closed, ready to heave the club back. Steve, why is he making this adjustment?
Well, being wound close to your target line allows him to create the leverage to take the golf club up, and really allows him to set the club in the right place at the top.
Okay, so Tommy, this is an adaptation you've made because you have one arm. This is your neuroplasticity, the brain adapting. Can we go to the next slide? You can see the left arm straight and stiff with Sam Snead on the left, and Tommy, unbelievably, bringing the club back, has also straightened out his left arm. John Daly on the right, 1991 PGA champion. Tommy on the left. Steve, do you just want to comment on Tommy going past parallel, and what do modern golf instructors say, and why is it so important for Tommy to do what he's doing?
Yeah, I think by taking it past parallel, it allows his body to really create the proper amount of time to uncoil into the golf ball. So all of that additional time that he has when the club's sitting behind him, just like John Daly did, allowed him to really shallow the club out and hit up on his drives.
Okay. When you said you want to play at Bay Hill after, like you want us to go to Bay Hill, or where do you want to play?
Play at Bay Hill here on the simulator.
On the HD simulator?
Yes.
And do the holes look realistic to you?
Yes.
Okay.
They look like the real one.
Okay, well, then we'll play on the HD simulator. Can we go to the next slide? So Tommy has even more rotation than John Daly, and we can see this in this slide over here, the degree of rotation here versus Daly here. And in other cases, Steve, if this was another junior golfer, what would modern instruction say about this degree of rotation?
Yeah, he's got at least a full 90+ degree turn with his torso. And that disassociation that he creates with his upper and lower body is an unbelievable power source. Just like John Daly right here is allowing his lower body to unravel towards the target, he's creating more and more of that X factor or disassociation that's creating more club head speed and enough time for him to really square up.
So what that means, Tommy, is that your upper body and your lower body, the way you're rotating, you're creating the X factor and like a sling, and you're creating so much power there that you bring back to the ball. So we did quite a bit of research, and we found that all these 6 players bounce the club at some point in their career off their neck, just like you do. Now, Steve, in Tommy's case, what's the reason why he bounces the club off of his neck?
Yeah, I think it's for stability purposes. So not having that trail arm there to support that downward motion of laying the shaft or the center mass of the shaft down and creating that leg. He sets it on his shoulder for that stability of allowing his lower body to fire first, and then it's almost used as some leverage to create more speed and recoil off of his shoulder.
So for our HD golf listeners out there, when Tommy takes the backswing, in transition, he lays it on his shoulder, because other golfers may have that right arm to stabilize it and then brings it down. So it's another compensation that Tommy makes with his unbelievable swing. Now, this is squatting to engage the lower body. We always talk about when we look at kinematic sequences, and we did this in our previous segment with Sean Foley, we look at that the force comes from the ground, from the pelvis to the thorax to the arms to the club. But the power comes from the ground. And you can see here Bobby Jones with this angle, DJ with this angle, Tiger with this angle, and probably of all of these 4 golfers, the best angle that you actually see is with Tommy. How did Tommy develop this type of biomechanics and leveraging these various angles to develop power, Steve?
Yeah, I think he adapted so well by using the ground force to create more shear force. So by allowing that pelvis to drop, and that would create flexion in the knees and the ankles, kind of creates this piston action where he can absorb the ground and push up as he delivers the golf club.
So Tommy, in slow motion with your swing, you're actually squatting down like this and you don't realize it, but you're so strong in your lower body and elsewhere that you're generating the force. And then this is an unbelievable slide of Dustin Johnson bowing the wrist over here. And who else is making that same move right there? Do you notice that, Tommy?
Me.
Yeah. Who do you look like there?
Justin.
Dustin. And what's the benefit of doing that, Steve?
Well, I think he really likes to lay the shaft down in the downswing. And so by maintaining this slight bowing of the wrist, he's really just allowing the rotation to deliver the club head into the ball, rather than most amateurs flipping their hands through or twisting their hands through impact.
So we're comparing your swing to all these golfing greats. Now this is unbelievable. This is called the reverse C. Do you know why it's called the reverse C, Tommy?
No.
So do you see this backward C here?
Yes.
This is Jack Nicklaus. Do you see the backward C?
Yes.
Do you see the backward C with Snead?
Yes.
Do you see the backward C with Tommy?
Yes.
Enough said. Now, this is Justin Thomas. Do you see this little triangle with his arms here?
Yep.
Do you see the triangle with Rory McIlroy here with the extension?
Yes.
Do you see the triangle with DJ?
Yes.
Do you see this triangle right here?
Yes.
Do you see the club here and the arms here? Tommy on target and on track. Now, Tommy, what is your goal for your golfing career? What do you want to do when you grow up?
Win every single tournament.
Every single one?
Yeah.
You don't want to let other people maybe win a few?
Nope.
Every one of them?
Yep.
And do you want to play golf in college?
If I'm Alabama, yes.
Alabama?
Yes.
Okay. And do you follow any other Alabama sports teams?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Football, baseball.
Who's the coach of Alabama for football?
Uh,
Nick Saban?
yeah.
Did they win the national championship? Alabama actually made a change because Nick Saban's a genius. He's won 5 national championships. He switched his starter, Jalen Hurts, to the backup quarterback. And the backup quarterback went on to win. And you know who the starter is this year?
Jalen Hurts.
No, the backup quarterback.
Oh.
You know what that tells you?
Really?
Anybody can win given an opportunity. Do you think you can win?
Yes.
Do you have the opportunity?
Yes.
Then you know what Nick Saban would say? Because I spent time with him last year. If you have the opportunity, you have no excuse. You going to stay focused?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to ask Steve Cox, Steve, the champion golfer of the weekend, if you can do a video swing analysis of his golf swing, look into various factors like club head speed that we'll see on the screen, smash factor, and maybe explain it to our audience if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks. All right, good swing. Oh, that's perfect. Good looking swing. So that felt really good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So what we can do with HD Golf is we have all of these drawing lines, and we can actually check and see what Tommy does on a swing plane and posture. And I even like to put one up on the head here to kind of see if the head's moving up and down and how he absorbs the ground and how he hits the golf ball. So If we look at any of the shot data first, he's got an in-to-out club path, so he does a really good job of shallowing the club out from the top of the swing. You can see this horizontal angle, which is also what we like to call swing direction. So you notice that the club head is moving right, but the handle in his hands are actually moving left, which is creating that shear force and a lot of additional club head speed when he hits the golf ball. So you hit that 7-iron, you have a smash factor of 1.32, so you hit that really well. You hit that in the center of the face, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if we drop that down and we go back and we look at your swing, you notice that he's wound closed, takes the club back almost in a full circle, lays the club down on his back, and then what I like to actually look at is what he does so well is he actually drops the club, and I'm going to just draw a little bit of an arrow right here, where he drops the center of the club almost a little bit behind him as he unwinds into the golf ball. So if we go from the top again, you see the center of the club drop down by that arrow, and there's the club head almost touching that arrow as he comes down. You notice that his pelvis hasn't come forward. The hands slightly elevate as he shallows into the golf ball. And he just does an amazing job of unwinding and hitting the center of the face.
So Tommy made a decision that he wanted to take this to the course. We're at hole number 7 at Pebble Beach, par 3, 103 yards with a 25-foot elevation drop. Tommy, the stage is yours. That's another great shot.
That might go in.
Are you kidding me?
Boom! I stuck it.
Gotta loosen up the back here.
Oh!
Ooh, that might be pretty good.
Nope. I won it.
14.
Doc, your turn.
Okay.
Ooh,
And
that
now-
looks really good.
Oh, his last shot might be good.
It's going to go in. Oh! Oh!
8 feet. I'm up. Says I'm up.
Can you beat 8.5 feet that
Yes.
the doc just hit?
Deep breath.
That's a nice shot.
Or put it in the
That could be the
cup.
closest one.
That might go in.
Good, it's in my name.
Go in.
Go!
Go in!
Oh!
Are you kidding me?
We have a new,
One.
I guess we have a new winner here.
Oh yeah, Doc. Take that.
Shot replay. We just finished our par 3 competition. I really thought I had a good chance of winning. I was inside 9 feet, but true to Tommy's nature, did you want to win?
Yes.
And what did you do to win?
Need a hole in one.
And then what did you say to me?
Take that, Doc.
And I'm going to take that home with me back to Canada. We had a great episode today of Doc Talk with our hero, Tommy. Tommy, did you have a hole-in-one today?
Yes.
That was
That's my third hole in one.
Your third hole-in-one. And did you find that it was realistic on the simulator?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how can you say anything else if you have a hole-in-one? Steve, in honor of him having a hole-in-one and just for who Tommy is and the great work that he's been doing, I think we have a very special announcement on this episode.
Yeah, Tommy, we have a nice surprise for you. You're actually going to be an ambassador for PGA National, which means you can come here and play anytime you want. What do you think?
Yes, this is my home course, I think.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that closes out an unbelievable episode of Doc Talk. We're going to have a rematch. No?
Now I'm gonna beat you.
Going to beat me again. Okay, well, thanks to everybody out there. We'll see you next time.